Rainy Day started in 1973, and I've been told that that makes us one of the oldest independent record stores in Washington. So about 41 years ago now. We were on the west side for a really long time, over in West Olympia, and we moved downtown about 8 years ago. The store was started by a guy named Dave Baxter, who's no longer involved with the store, but he actually popped in a few weeks ago, so that was pretty cool. CDs are selling a lot less than they once did. It seems to have plateaued a little bit. People are still buying them, but vinyl's rising, whereas CDs are kind of sitting at the same. And as you can see right now, we have like one record player right here. Well, I guess a couple sitting around, but there's so many people who want them that we can't keep up with them. And we like to encourage people to get like older record players that are better quality, like 70s record players, better kinds of stereo components, because we really want to make sure everybody has a really good setup. But it's so hard because the flow of that stuff coming in is not as high as we wish it was. I think we have the advantage of having been established over so many years that our customers are really faithful to us. So we have a lot of people coming back that have been shopping at Rainy Day for decades. And that loyalty has really helped us pull through in the most difficult time for the store. And when I started working here, I started here in early 2010, and I think I jokingly asked Adam, who's the manager here, like, oh, how many years do you think this store has left? And he was like, oh, maybe about 5. And now it's like no end in sight, because records have taken off to the point where people are really interested in coming to record stores now and getting turntables set up, getting stereo systems set up, and buying everything on vinyl. I think there's kind of a nostalgia for that among young people, about having a physical thing, about having artwork, about the ritual of like putting a record on, about it sounding really good. I sort of came of age during the time when like CD burning was becoming like a really big thing, and people were all into burning CDs and Napster and that sort of thing. And I bought CDs growing up because that was like the most available format. But I think people my age and younger, they miss having something physical. They miss having something that they can hold in their hands and put on and have sound really good. And I think there's kind of a hipness about it because it's like an older format that's now coming back, and people like that. So, I mean, I think records hold their value. CDs don't really. I mean, CDs are kind of cheaper than ever, and I think that as people get record players set up and they start building a collection of records, younger people and stuff, they're going to want to keep going with that. At least that's what we see in sales, as well as just an interest around the store. So. The used market is strong, but there's sort of it seems like there's kind of a big disparity in value, where there's thousands, millions of records that are worth a quarter that nobody wants anymore. And then there's records that are like really high demand, really valuable, and a lot of that has to do with age, I think. Like when we get punk records in here, when we get 90s records, alternative type stuff, they go like that, and we can sell them for like, more than a quarter, for example. But then all the kind of easy listening stuff that's been dollar bin chud for years now kind of stays that way, and I see kind of this gap. You see a lot of people kind of thinking they have a gold mine. They're like, oh, I have a Beatles record, I saw that it's worth $100, and it's like, well, maybe this very specific pressing is from this certain time, but chances are, they made millions of those and everybody bought them. So a lot of people have trouble wrapping their minds around the fact that the more popular a group was and the more of the records that were made, that means there's more of them out there floating around, and they're not maybe worth as much as like, your dad's brother's weird teenage band where they made one acetate in 1963 and this garage band, and maybe that's, more interesting. There's definitely been some casualties that the last decade wiped out. I mean, I'm from Seattle, and all the places that I used to go to when I was a kid, most of them are gone. So I'm hoping, that on the whole stores can pull through. I see a bright future for our store in particular, but a lot of that is because we've been going for so many years and have such a loyal customer base. So I'm optimistic about that. We'll see what happens. Music is so sacred to so many people that I think if you can establish kind of relationship with your customers where you're just both really into this thing and let's keep it going, I think that's really important. I mean, I don't know, that's something that places like Amazon and eBay and stuff can't deliver, that kind of relationship. They can't deliver that kind of intimacy or that shared love of something. It's so much less personal. If you think about the role of music in people's lives who are real nerds about it, like we are, it's something that's really important to them, and I think it's important for those people to have a place where they can come and ask questions and try, listen to new things and find what they're looking for, and that you can build a relationship around those kinds of things. I mean, we love that we've been in Olympia for so long. People always know that they can come to us, and even if we don't have something, we can probably get it for them. So yeah, I think it's totally important that every community has some kind of record shop where everyone can go and get what they want.